Ladies and gentlemen, it's amazing how the American government is such this great giving mood when it comes down to people oceans away from where they are. But as long as the people look like them, then it's justified. And do you remember when they cut the American people off of unemployment during the pandemic? Don't y'all remember Mitch McConnell and the GOP constantly complaining about the money that's being shelled out for the American people, and they were all upset. And then it was the red states that cut everybody off from the money. Y'all remember that, right? I sure do. And never forget HR 40. We need a study. We need to put committees together. We need to do this and we need to do that. And then you had a whole rash of idiots from the so called Black community getting up there. Well, reparations shouldn't be money. It shouldn't be money. Well, it is for these folks, it's money for them, and money for anybody that's non Black, immigrants. Oh, they got a whole host of money. Their pockets are so deep, they don't even see the bottom of their pocket. It's so deep. So this past Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, a massive spending package was just approved by the Senate. Part of this package was $1.5 trillion in funding to keep the federal government open. And the other part of it was $13.6 billion in emergency aid for Ukraine. And this is going to Joe Biden's desk for a signature. And all of the usual GOP, Mitch McConnell and all of them, not a complaint in sight. Not a complaint in sight. The same ones that were complaining about you being on unemployment during the pandemic and getting that extra stimulus money every single week along with they are now cheerleading for this money to go through. Okay, so the House approved the measure on Wednesday. The government spending section of the bill avoids looming government shutdown by funding operations through the end of the fiscal year on September 30th. The broader package is the result of a lengthy bipartisan negotiation that took on a new urgency as Congress raced. They raced, y'all, to get this aid for Ukraine. They raced to do it. That's what they did to respond to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The overall spending package includes 5.6% increase in defense spending and over 6.7% increase in non-defense spending. Leaders insisted on reaching an agreement on government spending in order to avoid extending current funding levels, which do not meet the current budgetary needs of the federal agencies. This is Mitch McConnell talking. This is a very dangerous time for the United States and our partners. So, this is what Mitch McConnell is saying. And he also said this past Tuesday, this compromise legislation will enable us to invest in military to keep pace with Russia and China urgently deliver the emergency aid to the brave people of Ukraine desperately need. Oh, so the people in your backyard don't desperately need this money. The people over in the Ukraine do. Oh, he said, get this money over there fast because this is aid the Ukraine people desperately need. This is how Mitch McConnell is talking, y'all, the same one. And you go back last year before unemployment was cut off and watch how vicious he was about giving the American people aid during a pandemic. And forget about reparations. He won't even discuss that. Mitch McConnell think it's silly that you want reparations. What the hell's wrong with you? The same guy is telling you to urgently get this money over to Ukraine. Same person. Same person. The $13.6 billion emergency package for Ukraine includes money for humanitarian aid, defense assistance, and economic support for the region. Lawmakers more than double, listen to this, more than double the amount of money in the package over the past several weeks as the severity of the fighting and humanitarian crisis in Ukraine grew. So you don't have a humanitarian crisis here in the US. You got a lot of poor people in the US. You got a lot of working poor. In fact, the majority of your workforce out here are the working poor. They don't need humanitarian help. But see, these folks want to justify everything to us, and the stuff they're trying to justify is indefensible. Lawmakers, we know, doubled the amount that they gave to Ukraine. The money is divided between what lawmakers term lethal and humanitarian aid. The humanitarian section includes 4 billion for people displaced within Ukraine, which is an estimated amount of 2 million people that have fled the country since the war started 2 weeks ago. So you don't have any people in America that are displaced because they're homeless and don't have anywhere to go, don't have a roof over their head. It's a mad, it is absolutely crazy how they can overlook the people right in front of them and send aid over to the Ukraine. And then again, when we say reparations, all of a sudden nobody got no damn money. But you got money because you got our money. Okay. And we're paying those taxes too. You got our money. More than 2.5 billion will go to the US Agency for International Development to provide food and healthcare support. Another 1.4 billion is intended for migration and refugee assistance. Oh yeah, those people are already over here. They're already being brought over here, y'all. Defense and lethal aid section provides 3 billion in support to the US military's European command, which is used for operation mission support, the deployment of personnel to the region, and intelligence support. Another 650 billion will go to grants or direct loans administered by the Department of Defense foreign military financing. The legislation also provides President Biden the authority to transfer, listen, an additional 3 billion in defense equipment to Ukraine and other allies supporting Ukraine. But go say the word reparations to Joe Biden and watch what he got to say. See, this had to be exposed, y'all. It really did. It had to be exposed that these folks are full of crap. So I hope there are no more questions on why we don't have reparations. It is simply they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They got plenty of money. They don't want to do it. House Democrats were forced to remove roughly 15 billion in additional CV related funding for states after some Democrats objected to the way the funding was structured. Republicans had opposed new spending into CV. So, top Democrats chose to reclaim some already allocated but unspent funds to help pay for the new package. They know how to move money around and drop certain things and add certain things. They know how to do all of that. Some Democrats said that would mean as much as 30 states would lose money they were already planning to spend. hmm So they're willing to cut states off to supply funds to the Ukraine. Hey, that sounds like y'all. Yeah, it sounds like you bastards. So anyway, the White House had they were actually demanding 22.5 billion in emergency spending for immediate use, and this was going to the Ukraine. So listen. Now you know how bad it's been for us for 500 years, but listen how they described this for the Ukraine that's just been in a 2-week war so far. A White House official said removing the money from the package would have dire consequences, including a decline in testing, but they don't care because they are saying that this money is immediately needed for Ukraine. And, this person was also pointing out the uninsured Americans. If they don't have the money, then this would mean a problem for uninsured Americans. But of course, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care about us. They don't care about the uninsured. They don't care about the poor, the homeless, the working poor. Just get this money over to Ukraine. Just get it over to them. Mm, mm, mm. So, y'all, just be prepared to hear these stories over and over and over because they are never going to stop sending money over to the Ukraine, and they're going to be sending billions at a time. You know why? Because they got the money. They got the money, but they can't bear to see money that we also paid into coming to us. These melanated people must not have money at all costs, but send all that money over to Ukraine, people that never worked in this system, people that never contributed to the country, and people that are very racist towards the Africans over there. Give it to them. Give it all to them. And like I said, Joe Biden can't give money away fast enough through this whole thing. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.